Hello, readers! Welcome to Read and Succeed. Today, we are going to be reading the book called My Pet Slime, Part 1, written by Courtney Scheinmel, illustrated by Rennie Corella. Show and Tell. School was just okay today. After lunch, our teacher, Miss Serato, called on table 8 to do show and tell. There's a girl in my class named Claire who says show and tell is a little kid thing to do. We had it in kindergarten, but stopped when we got to first grade, and we didn't do it in second grade either, which just proves, according to Claire, that third grade is way too old for it. Claire is really popular. Kids always agree with her. Out loud, I agree with her too. Life is easier when you agree with Claire. But here's the truth. I secretly think that Claire is wrong about show and tell. Sure, little kids do it, but little kids do a lot of things that the older kids do, like they eat ice cream, they dangle their legs in the pool, they do art projects. Speaking of art projects, I do a lot of them. I'm practicing so that when I grow up, I'll be as good as Frida Kahlo and Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. Their artwork is in museums all around the world. I want my artwork to be in the museum one day too. Then Claire and everyone else will see my name in big letters on a shiny gold plate. Well, readers, after reading this part of the book, I'm sure that we have detected one of the personality of the character, which is that the girl right over here, which we know the name is Piper McLean, is a very creative little girl who's in third grade. Although she agrees to Claire, she is still a girl who has her own opinions because she thinks that show and tell is not only for kids. Anyone can do it. And I'm sure that we all agree to that as well. But that's not the subject right now. The subject is show and tell, and how I really do like it, even though I don't admit that out loud. Except today, I didn't like it so much. My friend Benny was the last person to share. He passed around a picture of his hamster. He told us some hamsters facts like hamsters are very friendly, they store food in their cheeks to eat later, and they need a lot of exercise, so it's good to put a wheel in their habitats. Another thing about hamsters is that I'm allergic to them. I'm also allergic to dogs, cats, guinea pigs, gerbils, chinchillas. The list goes on and on. If it's cute and cuddly, then my eyes get teary and I can't stop sneezing. I'm not allergic to lizards or frogs or our class pet, Miss Swimmers, who is an angelfish. But I want a pet that can sleep in my bed with me at night, not the kind that has to sleep in a tank. Benny was really happy about his hamster. I know I should be happy for him, but it's hard to be happy for someone when they have something that you want but you can't have, even if that someone is your friend. Well, that line says a lot about Piper. She is allergic to many animals, and she is not quite happy about it. Although she knows that she should be happy about her friend, she just can't, because she knows that she will never be able to not be allergic to cute dogs and animals. Does the hamster have a name? Miss Serato asked. Yup, Benny said. In this picture, we can see how Piper's class looks like and how her teacher, Benny, and all her classmates are sitting attentively listening to the show and tell. Over here, we have Piper, and I suppose this is Benny, who is telling about his pet hamster. We are going to be discovering more about the characters and her friends in this book. It's Ty, short for Tyrannosaurus Rex. I wanted to give him a big name because he's such a little guy. That's very thoughtful, Miss Serato said. Why don't you call him Rex? Claire called out. Because I call him Ty, Benny said. I think it should be Rex, Claire said. Me too, Eleanor said. Me three, Beatrice said. See how everyone agrees with Claire? Well, Benny said, I could tell that even Benny wanted to agree with her, but he didn't want to change his pet's name. Does anyone else have any questions? Miss Serato asked. Theo raised his hands. Yes, Theo? Miss Serato asked. I have a cat named Charlie, Theo said. I have a rabbit named Cinnabunny, Diego said. I have three mice named Annie, Minnie, and Mo, Izzy said. OMG, I have the best idea, Claire said. OMG means oh my goodness, in case you didn't know. This whole week, we should pet show and tell week, Claire said. Tomorrow, I'll bring in a picture of my dog, Buddy, and tell you about all the tricks he knows. Everyone else at table B brings pictures of your pets too. These are comments, not questions, Miss Serrato said. I have a question, I said. Yes, Piper? What if you're at table B, but you don't have a pet? Everyone has a pet, Beatrice said, because we all have Mr. Swimmers. And anyone is welcome to bring whatever they want. Okay, Piper? Said Miss Serrato. Okay, I said. All right, Miss Serrato said. Thank you, Benny. You may sit down now. And thank you, Table A, Table B. You're on for tomorrow. So, Claire just gave a brilliant idea that they should do a show and tell about their pets next week. And we also got to know that this is what Claire looks like. Chapter 2, Slime Time. After school, Dad picked me up. Some afternoons, Dad and I do things together. I like going to the park or making homemade ice cream. But today, Dad said that I hadn't finished his words yet, so I needed to play quietly by myself. Dad writes books. Every day, he makes himself write a certain number of words before he finished with the work for today. We have an extra bedroom in our house that Dad uses as an office. My mom is a lawyer. She doesn't have an office in her house. She has an office in a building, along with a lot of other people. I did my homework while Dad wrote his words. When I was done, I knocked on his office door. Yes, he called. I pushed the door open. I'm all done with my homework, I said. I wish I was all done with my work, Dad said. How many words do you have left? I asked. Why? Because if you don't have many, you'll get to stop soon, and we can play something together. Sometimes even a few words can take a long time to write them when I'm working on a difficult section, Dad said. You'll have to play on your own today, okay? Okay, I said. I was feeling sad again, not because Dad still had work, but because of my allergies. If I wasn't allergic, I could have a pet, and I'd never have to play alone. But allergies equals to no pets. I decided to do on an art project because art always cheers me up. Looks like we found Piper's strong point, art. She loves being creative, and whenever she has a nice idea in her mind, she'll go to her art room and do whatever she feels like doing. It seems to really cheer her up. Different artists use different materials for their work, like Claude Monet used oil paints, Auguste Rodin used clay, Annie Leibovitz is a photographer, so she uses a camera. As for me, I like to work with slime. Yup, you read that right, slime. Slime is the very best material of all. You can do so many different things with it. Stretch it, braid it, loop it, sculpt it. Unfortunately, I didn't have any fresh slime to work with, but I did have all the right ingredients to make a new batch. Technically, I'm not supposed to make slime without Mom or Dad there to supervise. I thought about knocking on Dad's office door again, but I knew he still had work to do, so he probably wouldn't help. Besides, I didn't need help. I don't need this help. I've made slimes with Mom and Dad so many times, and I know exactly what to do. You only need 3 ingredients: glue, baking soda, Mom's contact lens solution. Oh, and one more ingredient, food coloring. You don't need it to make the slime, but slime is really plain looking without it. It's like the color of a piece of drawing paper or a white t-shirt. I gathered everything up, along with a measuring cup, a bowl, and headed into my room. My stuffed animals were lined up on my bed. Claire probably thinks stuffed animals are babyish too, But she's wrong again. They're cute and cuddly, and you can have so many different species without being allergic to any of them. What time is it? I asked my stuffed animals. They didn't answer, but I answered for them. It's slime time! First, I squirted out the glue, then added the baking soda and the contact lens stuff. I'd forgotten a spoon, but that was okay. I mushed everything together, and with my hands, presto, fresh slime. I spent a few more minutes mushing it all around. I love the feeling of slime. It's so soft and squishy. It's too bad there isn't a pet that has a slime for fur. That would definitely be the perfect pet for me. What would my perfect slime pet look like? Well, first of all, it would be purple, because purple is my favorite color. I pulled off a big hunk of slime and squeezed in a drop of red food coloring, and then a drop of blue. I mushed it all together and voila! I had a blob of purple slime. I shaped it into a kitten-sized animal, but my slime pet was too round to really be a kitten. I gave it a big eye. I gave it big eyes, a little mouth, and 2 arms that were on the small side, but still long enough for hugs. Oh, it was so cute. Cute and perfect. Well, not quite perfect. Perfect pets are alive. They roll over, play fetch, and lick your face with kisses. Slime pets can't do any of that. I wish you were real, I said, patting my pet slime's head. If you were real, you'd be as friendly as Benny's hamster and do tricks like Claire's dog, but you're just slime. Hey, Piper, Dad called. I'm all finished. I heard his footsteps coming up the hallway towards my room. The problem was, my room looked kind of messy. Okay, fine, it looked very messy. I couldn't let Dad come inside. I ran to the door and opened it just as he got here. Hey, what's going on? He asked. Nothing, I said. Absolutely, positively nothing. He said. He tried to peek inside. No, don't, I said. I'm trying to clean it up. Oh, really? Yeah, I said. I'm in the mood to clean. I'm actually going to get a vacuum cleaner. Do you need my help? Dad asked. Nope, I want to do it all by myself. All right then, he said. You do that, and I'll get started on dinner. Chapter 3. Surprise, surprise. Here's something that shouldn't be true, but it is. It's always way easier to make a mess to clean it up. You'd think it'd be the same, but it's not. Before I was even half finished cleaning, I heard Dad calling me again. Piper, come here. Mom's home, and she has a surprise guest with her. I love surprise guests. I really wanted it to be a certain surprise guest. See you later, I told my pet slime. And I ran out of my room. I didn't want to get my hopes up because the surprise guest could have been anyone. Like one of my mom's work colleagues. They're mostly nice, but also mostly boring. The surprise guest I wanted it to be is the opposite of boring. And my hopes were already up about it being her. That's the thing about your hopes. They go up all on their own. You can't stop them. And luckily, it was just who I wanted. Grandma Sadie, I cried. Pipsqueak! Grandma Sadie lives an hour away from us, which isn't really that far. But she travels a lot for her job, so we didn't get to see her much at all. She doesn't have a regular job, by the way. She works for Astro Blast Explorers. I'm sure you've heard about it. Because she's very famous. But, just in case you haven't, the job of an Astro Blast Explorer is to explore things. Obviously, in the old days, there were people who explored the different parts of the Earth. The Astro Blast Explorers explore things in space. I gave Grandma Sadie a big hug. I thought you weren't coming back for 6 more months. I had an unexpected trip home for a couple days, Grandma Sadie said. Is this your wow for the day? Dad asked me. Every day, Dad asked me about my wow and pow. Wow means the best thing that happened to you all day, and pow means the worst thing. Oh, yes, I said. Grandma Sadie is such a big wow. I don't even remember my pow. You want to see the surprise I brought you? Grandma Sadie said. Yes, please, I said. Oh, Mother, Mom said. You don't need to bring Piper's present every time you visit. Your presence is present enough, right, Pipe? Yes, of course, I said. And I meant it. But as long as Grandma Sadie had already brought a present, I should get to see it, right? Grandma Sadie's presents were always unusual. She didn't knit me sweaters or sneak me candy like other kids' grandmas, not even close. Instead, one time she gave me a package of special space meals, spaghetti and meatballs and ice cream sandwiches. They all came in plastic bags with all the air sucked out of them. Another time she brought me a weird black rock with swirls in it. It was made of lava from Mars. Well, we can definitely see that Piper's favorite thing is her grandma, Grandma Sadie. And Grandma Sadie is also quite extraordinary. She's always bringing Piper special gifts, which she really, really means. Let's see what she got Piper this time. Piper, go fetch my bag, Grandma Sadie said. It's by the front door. Coming right up, I said. I ran to the front door. Grandma Sadie's bag was big and shiny, like a pillow covered in aluminum foil. It was heavy too. I half carried, half dragged it back to her. Thank you, Pipsqueak, Grandma said. She snapped it open and mumbled as she dug around inside. Let's see. I was so excited. I felt my heart start to beat harder. Would I get a comet rock or a drop of diamond rain from Jupiter, or maybe a piece of Saturn's ring? Whatever it is, it was definitely coming with me to show and tell tomorrow. Here, Grandma Sadie said. She held the present out to me. Are you all excited to know what it was? Because, well, I am very excited. What is it going to be? Is it going to be something extraordinary? Something which can be very helpful to Piper? Well, let's see. Chapter 4. Space Dust. Grandma Sadie handed me a small plastic bottle, the see-through kind that medicine comes in. But there wasn't medicine in this bottle. Instead, there was... Well, it looked like there wasn't anything at all. Do you like it? Grandma Sadie asked. I can't tell what it is. It's space dust collected from the cosmos, she said. What's the cosmos? The universe. Oh, I said. And I started to unscrew the top. Don't do that, dear. You don't want to make a mess. How could I make a mess with something that was practically invisible? Don't worry, Dad said. Piper's been practicing with a vacuum cleaner. Mom raised an eyebrow. I think it's better to keep it in the bottle for the time being, Grandma Sadie said. All right, Pipsqueak? All right, I said. I rocked the bottle from side to side and squinted to see the dust. We have show and tell tomorrow. I'd bring this in, but you can't really tell there's anything in there. If I say it's space dust, Claire will think I made it up. Do you have something else I could bring? That's all I brought back, Grandma Sadie said. I'm sorry. It's okay, I said. Piper, I think you're forgetting a couple more words, Mom said. All right, thank you. You're welcome, Pipsqueak, Grandma Sadie said. I don't know about you guys, Dad said, but I'm pretty hungry. Anyone else want dinner? I do, Grandma Sadie said. Well, Grandma Sadie bought Piper space dust from the cosmos. Well, personally, if that was me, I would be super excited. But turns out that Piper is not very happy with it, because she was hoping something that she could take to show and tell. And because the space dust was practically invisible, she couldn't really take it because the other kids, especially Claire, would make fun of her. Well, let's see what she does with the space dust and how her show and tell goes tomorrow. Traveling home from the space station always makes me famished. Great, turkey burgers coming right up. He brought a platter of burgers to the table with all the fixings, plus sweet potato fries on the side. Mom started asking Grandma Sadie about her work. Where did you just come back from? I'm afraid I can't say, Grandma Sadie said. What are you working on? Grandma Sadie shook her head. Can't say that either. Conversations with Grandma Sadie always go like this. The people at Astroblast Explorers work on a lot of super secret things. You want to stay over tonight, Mother? Mom asked. Piper could sleep in Tom's office, and you could take her bed. Uh-oh. I wouldn't mind giving my bed for Grandma Sadie, but my room wasn't exactly clean enough for her to sleep in there. Thanks, dear, Grandma Sadie said to Mom. But I need to go home tonight to pack the Astroblast Explorers. I need to pack because the Astroblast Explorers are going on a trip tomorrow. Phew. Well, Piper was going to be in trouble, but she avoided the situation just fine. Fortunately, her grandmother had to go back, so she wouldn't have to see the messy room that Piper had made for her. Where are you headed this time? Dad asked. Grandma Sadie smiled, and I knew what she was going to say. I'm afraid I can't say. Can't blame a guy for asking, Dad said. When dinner was over, Mom drove Grandma Sadie back to the train station, and I helped Dad with the dishes. Hey, Piper, Dad said, why don't you go log on my computer and write Grandma Sadie a little thank you email? I told her thank you, I reminded him. Piper is so cute. I know, but I'm not sure she knew that you meant it. Well, dust is just dust. Dad shook his head, and I knew he was disappointed in me. In this house, it's the thought behind a gift that counts, not the gift itself. Grandma Sadie always thinks of you, and you should be thankful for that. Okay, I said. I'll write to her. I headed into Dad's office and sat down at the desk. Now let's look what Piper wrote for her grandma. Dear Grandma Sadie, I know it's the thought that counts, so thank you for thinking of me. It's nice to have space dust. If you see anything cooler than dust next time you're in space, can you bring me some? But if you can, that's okay too. Love, Piper. That is such a thoughtful letter that Piper wrote to her grandma. But is it thoughtful enough? Well, I don't know. That's for you all to judge. Chapter 5. Did you hear something? After that, I went to my room to get ready for bed. My pet slime was still on my desk. Actually, he looked more like a blob than a pet. His little mouth and arms had melted into his blobness. I fixed them up. There you go, I said. I changed in my PJs. Mom knocked on the door to say goodnight, and I forgot to tell her not to come in. Oh my goodness! What happened in here? She asked. What do you mean? Oh, come on, Piper, Mom said. I know you know what I'm talking about. I made a little bit of slime, I admitted. By yourself? Yes. In your room? Yes. You know better than that, Mom said. You're not allowed to make slime without Dad or me supervising. And all the slime making is supposed to take place in the kitchen. I knew about the first rule, I said. I didn't know the second one. The second rule is the one you should have realized without needing to hear it. Well, look at Piper's room. It is so messy. And we can also see the little pet slime, or let's say blob, she has made. Mom said, there's slime sticking to everything in here, even the walls. How'd you manage to get on the walls, Piper? I don't know, I said. But don't worry, slime peels off. Watch. I tugged on a string of slime that was stuck to the wallpaper. It came right off, except for a little bit. I scratched the leftover slime with my nail. There! You couldn't tell it's ever been there. Well, you mostly couldn't tell. I'm sorry, I said. What were you thinking, Piper? I shrugged. I don't know, I said. I felt bad when I got home from school because Benny got a pet hamster and I can't have one. And I can't have a dog like Claire and Beatrice, or a cat like Theo, or a rabbit like Diego, or mice like Izzy either. Mice? Mom said. You want a pet mouse now? I want to pet something, I said. But I'm allergic to everything, except for slime. So I decided to make my own slime pet. That's him, on my desk. He was cute when I first made him, the size of a kitten, but rounder with big eyes and a little mouth, plus arms for cuddling. You can't tell now. That's the problem with slime pet. It doesn't keep its shape. Well, the first problem is that it's not alive. I see, Mom said. Am I going to be punished? I asked. Yes, I'm afraid so. Mom said, when you get home from school tomorrow, the first thing you have to do is clean your room. And even after you finish cleaning, there wouldn't be any more slime making in this house for the rest of the day. I filled in week. Mom said, a week? But Mom, that's way too much time. We'll see what kind of cleaning job you do and discuss it again tomorrow. Come on, get into bed. I'll take you in. I climbed into bed. Mom stepped towards me, but she stopped to pick something up from the floor. What's this? She asked, holding out the ball from Grandma Sadie. It must have rolled out of my pocket when I changed into my PJs, I said. I'm putting it right over here on your bookshelf, okay? Okay. Sweet dreams, Piper, Mom said. She leaned down to kiss me goodnight. Then she headed for the door. Mom? Yes? I'm sorry I broke the rules. And I'm not just saying that to get out of punishment. I'm sorry. I know you are. I'll help to clean up tomorrow. Go to sleep now, okay? Okay, I said. She switched off the lights. I snuggled under the covers, trying to get cozy. If I had a pet in bed with me, it'd be easier. But I found a good warm spot and closed my eyes. That's when I heard the sound. What's the mystery sound? Find out in My Pet Slime Part 2. So readers, that was it for today. I hope you all enjoyed this read aloud. And there will also be a part 2, which is going to answer the question, what's the mystery sound? Well, I'll see you all later. Bye. Happy reading.